Happy Easter, everybody. This is Xbox DIY, and today I'm going to be showing you how to open an Xbox 360. First things first, as you can see, I'm experimenting with a little bit of a different view here. I've got a new rig, overhead video rig that I've set up, and I'm really excited to use it. I'm going to see if I can create a video and a little bit of a blog post on how I did that. It was really cheap and I found it online. And I'm also experimenting with a cool new camera. I got a Canon T5i that I really like, and I'd highly suggest it if you're looking for a high quality DSLR. But today the main point of this video is going to be showing you how to open an Xbox 360. There's really two steps. You're going to want to get the outer shell done first. And to do that, you're going to want to use a simple tool, such as this pocket screwdriver here. As you can see, it opens up. It's got a couple different heads here, both flathead and Phillips, which is really cool. So just a quick disclaimer, when you get to the part where you take the first outside shell of the Xbox off, you're going to actually need one of these Torque screwdriver, T9 Torque screwdriver. They're really cheap, and you can get them at any hardware store for like $5 or $6. And they're going to come in handy for any type of console repair that you do, because the majority of the bits used when building these consoles are in the T9 Torx formats. So the first thing you're going to want to do to take apart your Xbox 360 is pretty simple. There's 4 pieces that we're going to have to take off. The first one is going to be the faceplate. This is pretty straightforward. You basically just want to get your fingernails underneath here, pry the faceplate off. Set that aside, we'll come back to that later. The next thing you're obviously going to want to do is also remove the hard drive. Simple press of the button, hard drive comes right out. Set that aside as well. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Sometimes it's difficult to get these two top mesh screens off. There's going to be one on the top where the hard drive's at. There's also going to be one on the bottom that sits on the bottom of the console. Typically, the first time that you take this off, you may have to use something like the pocket screwdriver in order to get into these little tiny holes that are on the side of the Xbox. There's these little latches in here, and basically what they do is they're going to keep these mesh screens on. If you're careful and if you're lucky, what you can do is what I've done before, and that's simply just kind of pry these off. Now, if you're doing this and you're running into issues like pieces come flying off, it's not a huge deal as long as you don't break most of these tabs that are on the Xbox. So let's go ahead and do that for both sides. As you can see, this is the part where the hard drive sat. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get these off, but if you just give it a good yank, you should be good. As you can see, a little part chipped off, but really not a big deal. That happened quite some time ago. So this next part is by far the most difficult and tricky part of getting the outer shell of the Xbox off. The first thing you're going to want to do is flip the Xbox around to the back. And I'm going to try to show you this, but what you're going to see here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little holes with a tab inside of it, and you got to look a little bit more closely. I can't show you here on this video, but the key is that you're going to want to take it off here in 2 segments. So you're going to want to take off the right side, depending on how you're looking at it, or the left side. And what you're going to want to do is use this pocket screwdriver or some small flathead tool. Sometimes you can use a tool or a case opening tool, but that's usually a little bit expensive and you have to spend some time for it to get there if you get it shipped. So I just like using this, and again, it's not going to be the most cosmetically pleasing way to do this because you're going to get marks on the back of your Xbox, but it's really no big deal because in the end you're going to be able to open your Xbox. So like I said, we're going to do this in 2 separate steps. The first step is we're going to open up the right side here, and you're going to want to kind of put the flathead into these little holes here, and you're going to want to push down and kind of wedge it in there until you hear a pop. And you're going to want to try to also pull the one part of the Xbox case away from the other part while you're doing this. And as you can see, you heard the 2 pops there. As you can see, it's starting to separate, which is good. Once you got that done and have them kind of separated, you're going to want to do the other pieces. See, there you go. You really want to make sure that happens. And then you're going to want to do the other side. And this is going to be a little bit more difficult. But as you can see here, you'll start to hear some pops. That's good, as long as you're not breaking anything. and the Xbox is going to start to come apart. Once you've done that, as you can see here, the Xbox starts to come apart. And there we go. Like I said, it might take a little bit of time to really get it undone. As you can see here, there's all these tabs, which you basically pushed down in order to take it apart. So once you've done that, you can see the back of the Xbox is coming apart. Now you're going to want to flip it over, and we're going to want to do the front side. And this side is a lot easier. Just a little bit of a disclaimer here. There's going to be a sticker here. It's a warranty sticker. If for some odd reason you still have a warranty on your Xbox 360, which I guess you can if you've just bought one, taking this sticker off will void the warranty. So just a heads up. But this one's going to be a lot easier. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 tabs, and all you're going to do is just basically pry these tabs off. Get underneath them. Remember, a little bit of separation here to make sure that the pieces are coming apart. Simply lift those up, and as you can see, I already broke this one by accident. Still works though. And there you go. This will take the Xbox apart. So you take the one lid off. There you go. So once you got your Xbox down to this part and the other part of the shell, what you're going to have to do is remove the 5 or 6, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lighter color screws. As you can see here, there's like the light color screws and then there's the darker color screws. The light color screws are keeping this back part of the case on, so we're going to want to remove those. Before you take the second part of the case off, you're actually going to want to remove the eject button off of the disk drive. So as you can see here, it's this part right here, and it's connected by 2 little pins right here that you can easily pry off. You're just going to want to slip your fingernail underneath it. Oh, and there you go. Flies right off. That will allow you to take the rest of the case off. This is where you use your Torx screwdriver that we talked about earlier. You can try and use a regular screwdriver, but you will strip the screws and you're going to have a really, really hard time ever doing this again. So I highly recommend using the Torx screwdriver. These come with a bunch of different bits. You're going to want to find the one that is the right size, and then you're going to simply want to take these 6 screws out, and then we're going to be able to get the back part of the case off. Once you have all 6 screws removed, you can flip the Xbox over and you can easily take the back part of this case off. And there you go. Once you've taken both sides of the case off, you're going to get down to the bare bones part of the Xbox 360. That's pretty much it. And if you want to learn more about how to take these things apart, such as the heatsink or the hood or the disk drive or any of these other parts, stay tuned for another video where I'm going to show you a little bit more detail on how to do that. For now, you've got your Xbox open, so you have access to clean it and do whatever else you need to do with it. So thanks for watching, happy Easter everybody, and stay tuned for more updates from Xbox DIY.